Welcome back to another OCC Q&A video. And the first question I am going to touch on is where we are at for OCC 2024. So I will touch on that. Please remember, as I answer questions, these are thoughts and opinions meant to inspire and encourage. I've got my sweet little one over here joining me on the side, eating some cucumber. But remember, this is just my take on answers. There is not one exact right specific answer. So leave your comments down below too if you have an answer to one of these questions so that we can all join together in making these boxes better and figuring out what works. I will answer quite a few questions. Hopefully I can get through the remainder of the questions that I have from you guys. But let's start with the question about where are we at with Operation Christmas Child for this year. At the end of October, we applied, and that was pretty much just very general information, name of our church, our name, our contact information, saying that we wanted to be part of the project. On November 12th, we got a text message response on WhatsApp inviting us to apply again, but this time it was to register for a vision meeting. So we think we're officially in. We're not 100% sure if you can attend the vision meeting and then be turned down, or if this means that it's a go. But when we applied this time, it was more of a registry. It was a registry saying we're going to attend the vision meeting where they're going to share Operation Christmas Child Samaritan's Purse vision with all of the churches that want to be involved. And that meeting is occurring this Saturday, the 16th of November. And so we are attending that meeting at 7:45 in the morning with our two little girls. Let's hope you guys can get awake and ready. But we registered for that vision meeting that is occurring on the 16th. We also needed to put, again, our contact information, our phone numbers, and the actual address for our church. I'm guessing so that they can check and make sure that it fits within the zones where the distribution is happening this year. Every year, Operation Christmas Child determines which areas of the city they're going to distribute in. And so they have to make sure that we are within that area. And then they also asked roughly how many boxes we planned on applying for. We put 200. Oftentimes they give you less, so we tried to put a little bit more than we think we'll actually need. You guys have asked a lot of questions in the past about how do we make sure that we have enough boxes for the kids. Well, we try to overestimate, knowing that if there are extras, we just return them to them in the most timely fashion possible so that they can give them to another church to give out. So no boxes go to waste, but we always try to make sure that we guarantee that we have enough for the amount of kids that are going to show up to one of our evangelism events. So we have officially registered, and this Saturday we will be attending our vision meeting. Make sure you subscribe because we're going to try to take you along through the entire process, because I'm sure if you're sending boxes, you haven't necessarily seen or don't know everything that goes on in order for us to give those boxes out. So we're going to try to give you guys a really cool picture of what all goes into giving out shoeboxes. But let's jump into some of your questions in the meantime. And I can't wait till Saturday to attend this vision meeting, grab a couple of clips, and share them with you guys. This first one is from CJS Stuff, and she asked, is it okay to send pillowcases in shoeboxes? Absolutely. I don't think there's anything wrong with sending a pillowcase. I think I've only seen it in 1 or 2 shoeboxes, so it's not super common. And most of the time when I see them, they're homemade pillowcases. But yeah, I think it's fine to send them. Nothing wrong with that. She also asked, what would be better to send? Crayons, markers, or colored pencils? I'm going to refer you to our This or That series, because for each age group, I gave a little bit different response. In general, colored pencils are great because they don't dry out. They can be sharpened easily. So colored pencils are a great general idea if you're going to send just one in all of your boxes. But I did give a little bit more detail in our This or That series with the 2 to 4, the 5 to 9, and the 10 to 14. So check out that series to give a little bit more in-depth answer. And then she also asked, do the 10 to 14-year-old girls enjoy bracelet making kits in their boxes? Yes, but also remember that every child's different. So there are going to be some kids that are more crafty and are going to enjoy it more than other kids. And that's the same all over the world. There's not one perfect gift for every girl in the world. But I think in general, they do enjoy them. I would say I don't want to call them fancier, but the fancier ones that have like dangling charms and kind of the cutesy beads that aren't just like pony beads or the little triangle beads, the ones that have a little bit more variety tend to be enjoyed a little bit more just because they see things that they don't necessarily encounter on a daily basis. But yeah, I'd say bracelet making kits are great for that age group, gives them something crafty. They get creative. I will say that too. So I would definitely say they are great for 10 to 14-year-old girls. I've gotten a lot of comments in the last couple weeks after this video came out about umbrellas. A lot of people had never considered them, but it really is a really cool idea, especially the little compact ones, to send in boxes. Super versatile, super useful, and I hadn't really considered it until someone asked the question. So that's what this community is all about, coming up with new ideas and sharing them all over. Another one mentioned, do the older girls like sewing crafts in their boxes? I answered about sewing kits in our very last video that came out, but sewing crafts, I've actually not seen a whole lot of like crafts come in, like the kits where you give them the stuff to make them. I assume they would enjoy them. It's going to depend on the girl because some girls just like crafts more than others, and that's normal. But I think it would be great. Do you think it would be great too? I think it would be great to add to a box. I think it definitely includes a level of something like handmade, something that you've prepared for them. Like I said, I haven't seen them in a ton of boxes, but I assume they would enjoy it as just like one item. I would not fill your box with sewing crafts, but to have one thing that is something new for them to do, I think that would be cool. Josie, I kind of touched on this at the beginning of this video. Just curious, does Samaritan's Purse ask you to return unused boxes, or is that up to you, the pastor, to decide? Yes. So we have a certain time frame that they give us to administer or to give out the boxes. And when that time frame ends, we have to return any boxes that we have left, and then they give them to other churches that are like on their waiting list. So they also don't want a church to come and want boxes and not have enough. So once they get their general group that are going to give out, they start a waiting list, and then our leftover boxes will then go to one of those churches after. She is right too, though. She says, I assume they wouldn't know that you didn't use them all, or would they? We do have a report that we have to turn in, so they kind of trust the honesty of the people that are giving them out. And you always hope that we are good stewards of what God has provided, and that we don't misuse the boxes, that we do what we have said we were going to do with them, that they get into the hands of children, and that any that are unused go back to the, I guess it's a distribution center here, go back to where they're distributing them. You're right that they would not necessarily know, but they do trust us to do the right thing. Also, what if more kids show up and you run out of boxes? Can you ask Samaritan's Purse for a few more and give it to those kids at a later date? So we did have that happen to a church that's a friend of ours a couple years ago when we did it. And they were actually short 20 to 25 boxes, like a good chunk of boxes. They did reach out to Samaritan's Purse, to their coordinator for their region, for their area of the city. And they said, hey, we need some more boxes. Is there any way to get some more boxes? Unfortunately, at that point, they never got a response from their coordinator. I don't know if that is a general thing that happens. You are so excited. But they asked for more and never even received a response. So their church bound together. They asked some of their like faithful kids at church that they know of to bring the boxes back, not like full, but to bring the actual editing a few days later. And I realized I never gave you guys the full answer to this last question because this little one started screaming a lot. Yeah. So yes, we had that happen to a church friend of ours. They requested boxes. We're not... This is going to be very hard. They were not able to get any more boxes, and so the church worked together. They had kids bring back the empty boxes. so that the kids that didn't get gifts got something that looked similar. And they worked together with donations and church budget and put together as best of gifts as they could. I remember the kids got like some school supplies, washcloths. It definitely was not the same as if they had gotten one of the first round of boxes, I'll call it. But the church did the very best they could to make sure that even those kids that didn't get a gift got a gift. And I remember they were even telling us like they didn't have enough boxes returned, enough of the cardboard returned. So what they did is they would call the kid, have them come, open the box, take all the stuff out, and reuse the box again to give it to another kid, and then call another kid in, reuse the box again, fill it up real fast. And so they just did the very best they could. So I will say, here in country, like, we do the best we can with what we've got, and churches are very resourceful. Okay, as I'm editing, I'm realizing there's at least half of the video left, and we're already at 10 minutes. So I'm going to pause it here and finish answering the questions in the next video. But I just realized in neither one of these parts that I'm currently editing did I answer this one question. So still in the Heart Reborn nurse said, do babies wear diapers at 2 years old? Like pull-ups. It's possible that a 2-year-old would wear diapers. However, I would not recommend putting them in a box because you have to realize that the boxes are for 2 to 4-year-olds. And my daughter by 2 pretty much didn't use them. 3 definitely didn't use them. And 4, there's no way if she's already out of them. And so if it goes to a 3 or 4-year-old, not only do they not need them, but diapers are so size specific. I just wouldn't recommend putting them in because very few kids in that age range are going to need them. And it's just very difficult to decide on sizes with diapers. So I would say don't put pull-ups or diapers in boxes. It's just the ages go too high, even in the lowest age, to make it worth sending, if that makes sense. All right, I'm going to wrap this video up here, and I will put out another video, hopefully, with the last of your questions. But I love you guys. Samantha obviously loves you guys. And we will see you on the next video. Say bye-bye.